Previously on the High Risk Wrestling Podcast. Not only do they win gold, it's a matter of them coming back together. Them fighting for the souls of Preston Vance and for Anna Jay, bringing them back into the fold and making them one big happy family. It's kind of crazy to think that they haven't won. They've been in major feuds. They've teamed with Hangman. They've taken on the Elites. They're consistently and constantly over. You have the Angel of Brody Lee just looking over. Like, they've got to win They've got to win tag team championships, whether it's in AEW or whether it's in Ring of Honor. I want to see the Dark Order win. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, everybody. It is Saturday, January 14th, and you know what that means. It is time for the High Risk Wrestling Podcast. I am your host. It is not my last rodeo. Jeremy Pierce, what is going on, everybody? Just, some updates. But first things first, always check out the socials. Charismatic Creations on Facebook, Tumblr, and YouTube. Charismatic_Creations 52 on Instagram, and the 215 on Twitter. Gonna be working on a Patreon soon. Check out the coffee page as well. Links are everywhere at this point. Gonna be working on getting the podcast onto other platforms as well. Just the Charismatic Creations channel is starting to upload the movie and TV reviews. We're going to start getting that going some more. The Charismatic Gaming channel, called Charismatic Cards, actually, with Digimon and One Piece. So we're going to be focusing on that. I'm just excited. I am very, very, very much excited. As for today's show, we are going to be checking out, things that I'm looking forward to happening in 2023. Not necessarily predictions, even though one of these is probably a prediction, but just things that we know are more than likely going to happen, and why I'm excited for them, why you should be excited for them. But for now, you know what's next, so just go on and hit my music. So let's dive in to the news. So woke up, I'm gonna say, was it Wednesday morning? And there was just a big hullabaloo about the WWE not only being sold, but being sold to Saudi Arabia. First thing first, the WWE is a publicly traded company. I'm a shareholder in the WWE. I own stock in WWE. And no, that's not how selling a company works. And then also, it's just bad business. I mean, yes, even though Saudi Arabia does own a football team in the United Kingdom, that's the United Kingdom, it's not the United States. But Nick Khan was brought in pretty much allegedly to deal with Vince McMahon and Saudi Arabia. That, I believe, like a lot of us believe, that was the main reason he was brought in, and I believe that. I truly believe that the WWE will be sold this year, and it'll probably be before their new television deal, before they even start negotiating new television deals. When Vince McMahon came back, yes, Vince McMahon came back, and not only that, he is the chairman of the board once again, it was to facilitate a sale. And not only that, but if he maybe sells to somebody he knows who likes, they would keep him in charge. Yeah, we're hoping that doesn't happen. Multiple potential buyers have no interest in keeping Vince McMahon. It's just not good business to keep him there, to keep him in charge. They would much rather deal with Triple H and Stephanie, who have been doing a fine job. But again, Vince McMahon is back as the chairman of the board. Stephanie McMahon has resigned, while Nick Khan is now the sole CEO of the WWE. And it's not looking good. A couple of chair people have stepped down as they don't want to deal with Vince. And a lot of employees are fearing mass firings with his return. It's a weird situation. Him being back is not seen as a positive move internally, and Vince has pretty much escaped cancel culture. He has not suffered any consequences for his actions at all. Stephanie was visibly frustrated when Vince kept dismantling her team, and she's been kind of seen as a consistent calming presence along with Triple H. Vince already has rehired his own chief of staff. This is a weird situation. That household has to be crazy. This is a real life secession that we're witnessing. People, the WWE are also interested in a New Japan star looking like Tama Tonga. Could be making his way across the seas to join the WWE. We'll keep you locked in on that. Kylie Ray, even though she did get a tryout, is still a free agent. Even though she wrestled on Main Event, she is still a free agent. She has not signed. Whereas in the opposite end, Chelsea Green is not a free agent. She actually is signed to the WWE. They're just trying to find something for her with creative. Chelsea Green's is a great person to have. She's just really good at what she does. Rampage last week, the January 6th show brought in 551,000 viewers with a .15 in the 18:49 demo. That is up from the previous week of the 470,000 viewers, while Battle of the Belts did much better than the last Battle of the Belts. This is Battle of the Belts 5. They pulled in 409,000 viewers, so the viewership dropped. Remember, these were both live shows last week. Essentially, they just made Battle of the Belts. If you're going to do this following Rampage, Monkey Bull Fly, just make it a live Battle of the Belts. Make it a 2-hour Battle of the Belts. It's okay. It's okay. Johnny Gargano is out with an injury. He has a grade 2 AC sprain. Hopefully he'll be back in time for the Royal Rumble. Jay White will be leaving New Japan. Well, he's expected to leave New Japan, and the WWE is very, very interested in signing him. Even though I think he'd be better in either Impact or AEW, it makes sense to go to the WWE. They'll probably throw him into the OC. William Regal has received a new vice president role as he's back with the company. He is the vice president of global talent development. Regal's only 54 years old, and he will be at all television tapings, live events with his new role. Sting's AEW contract is running out this year. Sting is 63, and he did a profile in D magazines talking about how some guys retire and then they come back. He's not like those rest of the guys. He thinks when he's done, he's done. Dynamite this week saw a nice increase in the viewership. They pulled to 967,000 viewers with a .33 in the 18:49 demo. That is up from the previous week of 864,000 and a .26 in the 18:49 demo. Mercedes Moné already has heat on her over her social media post after her New Japan debut. Essentially, she's quote unquote promoting rival companies. She's been promoting Sendai Girls and Tokyo Joshi Pro more than Stardom in New Japan, and that's gotten her some heats New Japan feels like she should only be promoting them and their people. Sucks, but whatever Mercedes is going to do, Mercedes. Fox is set to lose a ton of money on their SmackDown deal, so they paid $202 million for the television rights, and they could lose as much as $145 million. Whew! Wow. It's not good. Here's the thing. I think it'll be much better if Vince McMahon can stay out of the way, because Triple H has been doing a serviceable job. But these new TV deals, we'll see what happens. I mean, back to the WWE being sold, for me, Comcast or Amazon. More specifically, Comcast, just because WWE's already on Peacock, and if like a streaming platform buys them, then it's the TV deals thing. And you really need to be on TV above all else, but also a lot of streaming platforms don't have live content. That's the news, folks, though, and we shall be right back. This was a fun week. I'm really getting used to these Impact Friday night pay-per-views. They had Hard to Kill. We had Raw, SmackDown, Impact. We had everything this week. But let's just dive into it. So Monday Night Raw, we had a good show all around, where the Judgment Day really got the shine, and then we'll dive into that later on in the review. But Raw gets a thumb up, one thumb up. So KO came out and he was chilly. He wanted to say some things until JBL and Corbin came out. We haven't seen them in weeks. And KO reacted how we all would usually react. Corbin and JBL said the same thing, especially JBL with these dumb, tired phrases of snowflake and woke. And he's one of those old men who hasn't adapted to the new world. KO subsequently beats Corbin in the match. Wasn't bad. These two are good wrestlers, so they're not going to have bad matches. The Bloodline try to jump KO after the match, but he fights them off. I like how we're building up. We're building up KO more and more. Alexa comes out saying later. Alexa Bliss comes out and says that she's in charge, she's in control, she's the new face of fear. This, that, and the third, sounding like Bray Wyatt, until Uncle Howdy comes out on the stage. That's it. He just comes out. That's it. So we got another slow burn. Bayley beats Michin. Miyam is now going by Michin, and Bayley wants to send her message saying, don't fight someone else's battles, don't fight for someone that won't be there for you, because they're not. Becky wasn't there. Becky was filming another episode of Young Rock. She is Cyndi Lauper, and then Michin got beat up again. Later in the evening, Austin Theory comes out, talks his talk, walks his walk, saying he beat Seth, saying that Seth is hurt. Seth comes out on crutches, and remember we had the injury report last week. It's all part of the storyline. Danielson says his knee is a little banged up, but he will be healthy. He will be ready for the Royal Rumble. And then Bobby Lashley comes out. He is back, and he spears Austin Theory. Looks like he has some unfinished business with Austin Theory. Rhea Ripley defeated Candice LeRae. MVP and Lashley have a talk, hashing some things out. MVP says he's the reason that Bobby is back. He's the reason that Cedric and Shelton are in the tag team Gauntlet later in the evening. MVP, wants to bring the Hurt Business back. And Lashley, I just can't forgive you. Thank you, but not right now. Bronson Reed says he only helps Miz because he's paid. They're not friends. Solo Sikoa defeated Dolph Ziggler. We had Miz TV. And it was Miz TV with the Judgment Day and Prison Dom. Y'all don't understand. Prison Dom is the best character since Down Bad Corbin. you don't get it. Prison Dom is so good. He's got the bandana across his face, the glasses. He looks like a straight Latin thug. It's great. He's talking about how he was in the pen. It was hard time. Oh my God, it's so good. There was a gauntlet match. This was the 10 o'clock hour, with the winners getting a shot at the Raw Tag Team Championships. Started with the Judgment Day taking on the OC. They defeat the OC. Then they go on to defeat Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander. And then they defeat the Alpha Academy. Otis injures Finn by giving him the big splash. And Dom has to step in. Lastly, the Judgment Day defeats the Street Profits. So essentially, Damian Priest wrestled for an hour. And now they are the #1 contenders to the Raw Tag Team Championship over on Dynamite. This was a great show. This is one of the few times, ladies and gentlemen, where we get a 2 thumbs up show. I loved everything about this. They were in LA at the old Kia Forum. Hangman Page defeats Jon Moxley clean. No blood, no chairs, no super crazy spots. There were a couple crazy spots, but he beat Jon Moxley clean, and Mox rarely loses clean. This was a fun fight. They ran a concussion angle after the match. Hangman showing a little bit of concern for Mox, so I'm curious to see as what we're going to do next. And Tony Schiavone was in the ring saying he takes no pleasure in interviewing this next guest, and it was none other than Adam Cole, baby. Adam Cole is back, yes, and he's pretty much a face at this point. He tells how his injury, and he was sick, and heard all of the concern and the love that the fans were giving him, saying, I don't care if Adam Cole never wrestles again, I just need him to be okay. And he said he had some good news and some bad news, and the good news is that he's back. But the bad news is for the AEW locker room, because Adam Cole is back, baby! Hook and Jungle Boy defeated Lee Moriarty and Big Bill, so this feud is done. The best friends are fine. MJF does MJF stuff with the city and Takeshita. Takeshita was getting ready for his match against Bryan Danielson. MJF comes out, cuts a regular boring. It's the same promo. Danielson chases him off, then Danielson and Takeshita have a banger of a match. So good. It was so good. Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker defeated Saraya and Toni Storm after Sheeta messes up. She came out to sneak the kendo stick in, but it didn't work out. No Mercedes Moné. Fans were not happy, and let's get this straight. Yes, even though they kind of alluded to it just by one time, it wasn't as apparent like when they alluded to CM Punk joining AEW. So the fans worked themselves. AEW didn't work you. The fans worked you. Period. We had a not so great promo segment with the JAS, Ricky Starks, and Action Andretti. Everybody is capable of so much more. The less said about this, the better. This is the one thing that if I had to downgrade to 1 thumbs up, it would be this. But then there was also the main event with the Elite defeating the Death Triangle in the Best of 7 series, match number 7, and a ladder match for the Trios Championships. This was great. I love how all 7 matches were completely different, and the Elite are your new Trios champions. Over on Impact, we had our go home show for Hard to Kill. Josh Alexander and Bully Ray had a digital face-off. Heath defeated Brian Myers. Tasha Steelz and her crew attacked Taya Valkyrie. Then Savannah Evans defeated Rosemary. Sammy Callahan shaves his head to join the design. Mike Bailey defeated Anthony Green. Eddie Edwards, Moose, and Steve Macklin defeated Jonathan Gresham, Joe Hendry, and Rich Swann. Over on For Hard to Kill Friday night on the pre-show, Kushida won a 6-way X Division match, defeating Angels, Yuya Uemura, 73-year-old Mike Jackson, Speedball Mike Bailey, and Delirious. X Division Championship, Trey Miguel retained against Black Taurus. The 6-woman tag team match that was advertised did not happen. And onto the main card, the opening match, Josh Alexander defeated Bully Ray in a full metal mayhem match, making him tap out. The Impact World Tag Team Championships were on the line as the Motor City Machine Guns retained against Matt Cardona and Brian Myers, aka the major players, Heath and Rhino and Austin Aries and Chris Bay. Frankie Kazarian made a surprise appearance saying that he's officially signed with Impact. Yes, Frankie Kazarian is now with Impact, no longer part of AEW. And it was just he wanted to do more. He knows that he's not going to get a lot of time in AEW. There's no hard feelings. He can always go back. It's cool. Joe Hendry retained the Digital Media Championship against Moose, but originally he didn't, as Moose won. But the new Director of Authority, aka Santino Marella, who's here to be the kind of the man in charge until Scott D'Amore gets better. Remember, he was taken out by Bully Ray last week, and restarted the match, allowing Joe Hendry to win. In the Knockouts Championship #1 contenders match, Masha Slamovich defeated Deonna Purrazzo, Taylor Wilde, and Killer Kelly. Actually, let me go to one thing. I want to see if did I predict everything right? That'd be funny if I did. In a Falls Count Anywhere match, Steve Macklin defeated Rich Swann. Eddie Edwards defeated Jonathan Gresham. PCO made his return, and he will be now feuding with Eddie Edwards. And in the main events, Mickie James won the Knockouts Championship, defeating Jordan Grace. It was a title versus career match, and yeah, Mickey's won. I'm completely fine and happy with that. Predictions, let me see. I said Joe Hendry would beat, I think I said Joe Hendry would beat Moose. I picked Masha Slamovich. I picked Gresham over Eddie, but Eddie won. Trey Miguel versus Black Taurus. I said Trey Miguel. Motor City Machine. I said the routine. I said Mickey will win. I said Josh Alexander. I think I said Josh Alexander will win. But that was Impact Hard to Kill. A fine show as usual, because Impact is, well, they're pretty awesome. Over on SmackDown, we had a solid show. It just gets a fizz. Gunther retained the Intercontinental Championship against Braun Strowman. The Bloodline leaves Sami Zayn hanging, saying they won't. Paul Heyman was the only one there saying the Bloodline believes in Sami and that he can get the job done for his match against Kevin Owens. Karrion Kross, who was still bland and boring, takes out Ray. Ray was in the ring already, saying he's done with Dom. He's moving on. He's already moved on, and he'll be in the Royal Rumble. Liv Morgan gets criticized for being #1 in the Royal Rumble, and she slapped the taste out of Raquel's mouth. I love it. I don't like Raquel. I like Liz. It's that simple. Tegan Knox defeated Xia Li. Bray Wyatt's kind of cut an in-ring promo in the rocking chair, and it felt like the old Bray. So the slow burn continues. We're building towards the pitch black match. KO tells Sami the truth. Sami's like, well, why are you always here interfering? KO's like, I'm not. I stayed on Raw. You guys came to Raw. I didn't ask for the tag team match. Roman asked for the tag team match. I didn't ask for this match against you. Roman did. And now the wheels are turning, and Sami's starting to see some things. Sonya Deville, so she didn't get her way, talking to Adam Pearce, attacks Charlotte. And anytime Charlotte Flair can get beat up, I am all for it. Anytime Sonya Deville can get a push, I am definitely all for it. Raquel defeated Liv Morgan, and the main event, Sami Zayn versus KO, ended in a no contest. Looks like Sami had the match won. He was getting ready to go for the haluva kick till the Bloodline came out and jumped KO. They took him out, put him through a table, and Sami looked apprehensive. He thought they weren't there, and now it looks like they don't trust him, and the wheels are turning. He's looking, he's learning. Maybe KO is right. Over on Rampage, Darby Allin defended and retained the TNT Championship against Juice Robinson. We had a fun segment with the Acclaimed and the Guns. Kings of the Black Throne defeated Eddie Kingston and Ortiz. not really understanding this storyline just a little bit, just because Kingston and Ortiz don't have a reason to not trust each other. I feel like this is a way to just get Eddie Kingston and Ortiz on TV along with the House of Black. Red Velvet is no longer a baddie, which sucks, but I like Red Velvet. Also love me some Layla Gray. Paul Walter Hauser does a great promo, just talking about his love for wrestling. He's confronted by Dan Houser and they have a little bit of fun. And then Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal, Samil, and Sanjay Dutt come out, and Paul Walter got a great promo. Oh my god, it's really good. Jeff Jarrett hits him with the guitar. Paul is done. He's dead in the ring. The best friends come out to run them all off. And in the main event, Willow Nightingale and Ruby Soho defeated TJ in a street fight. This was bloody. This was brutal. TJ always go out for these street fights. I love it. I love this match. I wish the women got more time. This was great. Ruby sported a crimson mask within like the first minute of the match. This was awesome. There were tables. It's a really scary spot when Willow went to powerbomb Anna Jay off the stage through a table. She overshot the table and powerbombed Anna on the ground. I'm hoping that area was padded. I believe it was padded because remember this was taped Wednesday, so Anna sounds like Anna's fine. Ty powerbombed, not powerbombed. She power drived Ruby through a table from the ring to a table on the floor. Thumbtacks got pulled out. Ruby gave Taylor no future through the thumbtacks, and that was the match. This was awesome. I'm definitely going to rewatch it again. As for our matches of the week from Raw, the number one contenders tag team Gauntlet. This was just great. Damian Priest really shined here. From Dynamite, Hangman Page versus Jon Moxley, Bryan Danielson versus Konosuke Takeshita, and the ladder match for the Trios Championships, the Death Triangle versus the Elite from Hard to Kill, the Full Metal Mayhem match for the Impact World Championship, Josh Alexander versus Bully Ray. And I like the fact that they opened the pay-per-view, the main card, with the World Championship. There's been precedent for that before many times now, and I think it's great because, like, if the world title isn't going to open the show, isn't going to close the show, have it open the show. Have it open the show just to get the fans going. And also from Rampage, the street fight between Willow Nightingale, Ruby Soho versus TJ. Our star of the week, could have given this to a lot of people. I'm giving it to Paul Walter Hauser for taking that guitar shot and selling it like nobody's business. This was awesome. That's the week in review, and we shall be right back. I, for one, am excited. We had last week, we had our predictions, but now we're into something just a little bit more concrete, and that is, well, what I myself and hopefully a lot of you are looking forward to in 2023. Now I'm gonna keep this, we'll expand it, you know what I mean? Might even do another video of more things I'm looking forward to in 2020. I'm gonna get right in there, but let's just dive into it. So first things first, up on the docket is gimmick matches meaning more in the WWE, and by that I mean no more scheduled TLC matches, no more scheduled Hell in a Cell matches, no more scheduled Elimination Chamber matches. If we look at the current WWE pay-per-view schedule for the year, let's see what we have in 2023. So the Chamber is happening. That is happening. It's happening right between the Rumble And WrestleMania, per usual, will be taking place in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. But not on the menu is the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. Not on the menu is the TLC pay-per-view, and I think that was to be expected, especially when it comes to the Hell in a Cell match with Triple H. We know just how important that match is to Triple H, how he feels about it. I'm a little disheartened that the chamber hasn't been taken off, but maybe that'll change in 2024. Same thing with War Games. We had War Games last year, but it doesn't need to be an annual thing like how it was in NXT, but it also felt organic coming from the Bloodline storyline. It just felt right. So when we get to Survivor Series of this year, hopefully we won't have another random War Games match, but I do love that the Hell in a Cell match is no longer on the menu. I hope we actually don't get one this year, but I feel like Edge and Finn Balor may have one, but just need the match to mean something again. Same thing with TLC matches, and I hated the fact that it sounds like I'm saying this now just to be cool, but no, I genuinely didn't like the fact that TLC matches were starting to become, implemented into one-on-one matches. I think they've always felt better, always felt more right in tag team matches, and now with them not being on the card, hopefully we'll get one this year. And same thing with ladder matches and steel cage matches. Don't just throw them on the schedule to throw them on the schedule. Now this right here, this is a prediction, but it's something that we believe truly will happen, and that is The Rock versus Roman Reigns. I believe that the Royal Rumble will tell us what's going to happen at WrestleMania. It will tell us if Roman's wrestling 2 matches. It will tell us if Roman's wrestling one. Will one of them be against Cody Rhodes? But I truly believe that the logical first true end of the Bloodline storyline ends with The Rock versus Roman Reigns, the tribal chief versus the tribal elder. It's gotta happen. It's a money-making match. They've built up Roman Reigns so well that you gotta do Roman versus Rock, whether it be at WrestleMania or the other being SummerSlam. Those are essentially the only 2 events where that match can happen, just because they're like the 2 biggest WWE events out of the big 5 that they have. And then you have to ask yourself the question, who's winning the match? Is it Roman? Is it The Rock? Will the championship be on the line? Hopefully it isn't, but seeing The Rock versus Roman, seeing the storyline, and just seeing their interactions is something. It'll be something truly to behold. This will be one of the few times where we'll all be fine with a part-timer coming in and doing a main event, being in a main event spot, because 1, it's The Rock, but 2, it actually fits the storyline. It's not like Brock Lesnar just coming back and randomly feuding with Bobby Lashley. You know what I mean? But The Rock versus Roman Reigns, man, that's money. That's truly worthy of being headline everywhere. Doesn't matter the company, you do this match. Next up is a woman that I am a big fan of. That is Chris Statlander. As you know, she tore her ACL again, and that was last year. Let me see when she tore her ACL. Let's see, Chris tore her second injury was in August. She tore her ACL and her lateral meniscus. So this was August of 2022. So we go August, we go September, October, November, December, January. So that's already 5 months. I think she'll be back this year, and I think she will be back this year. It's at this point, it's going to be after Jade gets that 50 win. Jade's already now the longest reigning champion in AEW history, so you know what I mean. Chris was going to be the one to top Jade. We know this. I know this. You know this. So her return will be something great. It will be exciting, and I want that match. And Jade has been getting much better. And she's not like, top notch, but having a woman that can battle with her in power, it's great. So if Chris doesn't return to stop Jade, obviously, like I said before, I think it should be Willow Nightingale. But I am ready for the return of Chris Statlander, because right when she got hurt, she was on the come up. She was getting cheered everywhere. It was like, okay, we're putting it together with her, and that's what I truly want. Because I think the division misses her. It really, really does miss her. Next up, this is something that I think for sure will happen, and it's really up to them to do it. I'm sorry, it's a football game on, and the names of the Niners, D-backs, Impact their audience to grow. So if you go to Impact's Facebook or YouTube page, they have they show you a lot of old videos from the early years, the really, really big years. And the one thing that you see that's completely different from now was the audience. Big arenas, big crowds, loud. Big names. You forget just how many people were in Impact when they were TNA. You really forget. And they've had their fair share of missteps. Looking at you, Hulk Hogan and Dixie Carter. So it's caused people to kind of count them out, but yet they're still here. And Impact has been the consistently good wrestling show. Honestly, between WWE, AEW, and Impact has been consistently good. Many more highs than lows. And they deserve to be rewarded for that. You deserve to see quality wrestling, fun, and serious storylines, storytelling, engaging matches, great matches. I can't rave enough about Impact. I would love for their audience to grow, maybe get a new channel, and start putting on shows in bigger arenas, because they've earned that. I think they've earned your trust. Ring of Honor. We've been saying this time and again. Ring of Honor needs their own TV. And now with Honor TV coming, Right now, Ring of Honor getting the weekly show on their own on the Honor Network, and it's something that has to happen. The AEW roster is huge, man. It's huge, and there's so many people currently not being used. Let me go to the AEW roster. And it used to be, in the early days of the company, there were a lot of people, but they were also being used. And currently, it's like over 40 on the men's roster. And a lot of people aren't getting used. Mike Bennett was on Rampage randomly last week. You remember that? You remember him? Marie Kanellis was hired, but she is, not being used. So I think a lot of the roster can be split up into two types of rosters between AEW, between Ring of Honor. It has to happen, you know what I mean? There's so much stuff that can be achieved just by splitting these two rosters up. And that starts with getting Ring of Honor their own weekly show. Getting them the time so they can give us something great. Because Ring of Honor can always give us something great. It doesn't even have to be long. Give me a 1 hour show. Make it like the old black and gold of NXT. And let's just rock out. Let's just roll with it. So, getting Ring of Honor their own show is like a priority. And now that we know it's coming, I think we can rest easy. Obvious is obvious. So the Bloodline turning on Sami Zayn, obvious move is obvious. And we're starting to see it unfold. We're starting to see the cracks in the armor. We're starting to see Sami questioning himself, questioning the blood. He's not doing it outright with his words, but the mannerisms, the looks. And we know the turn is coming. So we always believed that it would be Sami and KO to take the tag team championships from the Usos. But now we see that, well, they're splitting the tag team titles back up between Raw and SmackDown, which it's fine. I would have much preferred them for these specific championships to stay unified, but that's okay. So now the question is, do the Usos lose to either? Well, on Raw, it's the Judgment Day. SmackDown's holding a tag team tournament. Do they lose to either one of those teams? But the Bloodline turning on Sami Zayn, it's gonna hurt. Remember when Batista turned on Ray and said that Eddie's dead? It's gonna hurt like that. It's gonna hurt real bad. But the after effects is truly what we're gonna be like, okay, all right. Because now the storyline can go in so many ways. Does KO defeat Roman for a championship? Does Sami defeat Roman for a championship? Who knows? But the Bloodline turn on Sami is going to hurt everybody, and I am all here for it. Mercedes Moné finally wrestling. She showed up at Wrestle Kingdom, confronted the IWGP Women's Champion Kairi, and their first match will be at a New Japan show in San Diego. So that will be Mercedes' first match since last, May? Just seeing the artist formerly known as Sasha Banks back in the ring. I want to see what she's learned. I want to see where that training has gone to, the training in the Joshi style, the training in the luchador style. She put on, some more muscle mass. The skill's still there. Ring rust is a very, very real thing. But I also truly believe that Mercedes Moné is one of the best women's wrestlers on the planet. She's that damn good. So, seeing her wrestle, it's a treat. Seeing her wrestle Kairi, man, hopefully they get more than 5 minutes, because that was a damn shame what Kairi got at Wrestle Kingdom. Didn't feel right. But Mercedes' return to the ring, man, awesome. Let's go. They've been running promos for this, so we know it's happening. The question is not if, but when it will happen. And as the return of Cody Rhodes. As y'all know, Cody got hurt last year, tore his pec, wrestled the Hell in a Cell match. He's been away, and now we're getting the return promos. Looking very Triple H-esque. So does he return at the Royal Rumble, number 30? Does he return maybe at the Elimination Chamber? But either way, we know Cody Rhodes is coming back. And we know Cody Rhodes will be coming for the WWE Championship. So Roman Reigns, get your popcorn ready. Cody Rhodes, I'm not going to say that we didn't think he would come back, but he's back now. So, what kind of pop will he receive? What shape will he be in? I mean, yes, the inevitable will happen. Cody Rhodes will be WWE champion this year. The question is, how do we get there? So, Cody Rhodes coming back. I'm looking forward to that. It's so crazy to wonder how this year would have been different if Cody never got hurt. You know what I mean? If Cody finished strong. But it's all right. It's all right. It's all right. It's okay. So Cody Rhodes coming back. I am ready for that. I think we all are. I think we're all ready for that. And lastly, something that will put a smile on all of our faces, and we're hoping, we're praying that it happens this year, and that is the return of Big E, dealing with his neck injury. We all know he's in good spirits. We all know that he is a positive Pete, as Simon Miller says. But I think his return, happy, joy. It could end up being maybe the biggest pop of the year. I'm just saying. Big E is a lovable soul. and him just getting hurt sucked the wind out of a lot of people. But his inevitable return is going to be great, and I'm looking forward to that first video of him in the gym. He won't even say anything. But that is our show, ladies and germs. Things I'm looking forward to the most in 2023. I hope there are some other things you're looking forward to. Let me know. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. Just gonna keep bringing you some good wrestling content. Next week's show will be my Impact Wrestling wish list. These are things that I wish, I'm praying, I'm hoping happens in Impact. We will definitely be rehashing a few things from some of the other two shows we've done so far this year, but that's okay. Love doing it in Impact centric episode. Check out the socials, Charismatic Creations on Facebook, Tumblr, and YouTube. Charismatic_Creations 52 on Instagram, the 215 on Twitter. We have to look up for that Patreon and the coffee page. And as always, Zia Lee, Wendy Chu, Shotzi Blackheart, and yes, as always, love of my life, Gigi Dolan. Holla at your boy. Peace.
Thank you.